Hey guys, Catherine here. I am making a card and I want to put a pop-up inside it. And I had to think really about what I wanted to put on the pop-up, and I decided I wanted to do a fantasy castle. But I don't have any prints of fantasy castle, so I'm going to have to draw one. And I thought, why shouldn't I show you the process of drawing that fantasy castle? So I pulled out some white cardstock and I have got some pens and I'm going to draw a simple fantasy castle. So the pens I've got for this is an 005, an 02, and an 08. I'm going to start with the 00. Actually, no, I'm not going to start with the 005. I'm going to start with the 02. And I'm just going to draw the castle with this to start off with. Because once I have the shape of the thing, I can go back in and add fine details with the 005. And I can also then go back in and make thicker lines or color in areas that need to be colored in with the 08. So I want to do a fantasy castle, and I decided for a fantasy castle I want it to be curved up. I want it to be tall, and I want it to have towers and like turrets and things like that. So I'm going to start off with the basic shape of the castle to begin with. That's the sides and the bottom, and now I'm going through the top, and I do want it to have this up and down shape like that. Then I think I want to do some towers inside of it. So to put it inside, I'm not putting them quite at the edges, but I want to do a tower, and I'm going to keep with that curved sides line thing and maybe even curve them out a little bit. There we go. And then I want to put cone roofs on those. So I'm going to curve the bottom and then bring them up to a point. Then I think I want to give this castle some depth. So I'm going to have to give it a back wall. That'll give it shape. So I think I'll start by bringing it up and then giving it, so that'll give it the angles at the back there, those triangles that I just drew, and then some tiny little like that, and then a line. I'm trying to decide whether I want the walk on the back to be above the line of the top of the front or not. I think I want it below. There, like there-ish. And then I want flags on the top of those towers, so put a flagpole and draw a rectangle out from it, and then a triangle out from that, and that'll give me a flag. And then I want this one to be a really tall one. So another rectangle and triangle and rectangle and triangle, and it needs a front door, and I want a drawbridge. Okay, so I'll do a curve up, and then because the drawbridge comes forward, it's going to want to be wider at the bottom than it is at the top, so it needs to curve out like that, sort of like that, kind of like that. Then because it's a drawbridge, it needs some chains to draw it up with. So place for them to connect to and a line to indicate chain, because this is going to be simple, it's not going to be complicated, and it needs windows. I think just rectangle windows, and pretty high up, and in the towers too, why not? Rectangles. There we go. That's coming together. I want it to be, now that I've gone up, I think I want to go out to the sides actually, because that ended up a little taller and less substantial to the side. So I think I'll do like just little wings off to the sides. So draw the bottom line up from that bottom line so as to indicate that they are further back and not in line with the front of the building. And keep with that curved theme that I've got going on these sides. And the cone roofs, because I'm already doing them. And half of doing anything is just repeating what you've already done to make sure that it all matches. And windows on those too. There we go. And then I think that gives me pretty much what I want. So let's switch over to the 08 and color in the windows and the door. There we go. Windows. Alright, there we go. Last window and then just the door. And do I want to color it in? Do I want to put a hallway back inward or do I just want to make it black? I do want it to have a feel of depth, and both would achieve that, although I think black is more in keeping with the overall fantasy style and it would match the windows. So yeah, I'll just color it in black. That always shows up much better than anything else does, coloring it in black. And then I think I want to make the sides wider, the lines for the sides wider, bolder. And the bottom. Sides and the bottom. There we go. And then I think I do want to switch over to my 005 at this point and add a little bit of texture to the roofs. Go. And maybe some brick. Here. There, and maybe like right under here, maybe. There we go. All right, and then maybe some like lumpy bits along the edges of the flags. Oh, boards for the drawbridge. Obviously. Completely would have missed that. All right. There we go. And then I think I want to paint this in. I think I want to paint it in pinks and purples, maybe? Do you think pinks and purples would be good? Well, I think pinks and purples would be good, and that's going to be the most important thing. It's like a hot pink and like a hot pink and like a purple. And just grab a brush. These are pretty well diluted alcohol inks. I prefer to work with the diluted alcohol inks because I can always add another layer if the color doesn't end up dark enough. But that's going to be a pretty solid pink as far as I'm concerned. And they dry so quickly, so it's very convenient if I want to do something else with it just right away. I absolutely can. Okay, all the brick is pink. It's not soaking through, is it? Nope, it's not. Good. And then the roofs can be purple. Maybe I'll toss some blue on top of that purple because it's turning out kind of pinkish. Well, when it's next to the pink anyway. And I want it to be more purpler. So maybe I'll toss some blue on top of that purple. And I think I will go back through with the pink and add some darker, or add another layer of it in the back here so that it ends up being darker and gives it some dimension, and maybe right along the bottom of the towers and along the bottom of the castle in general. And I've just diluted these alcohol inks with rubbing alcohol, with isopropyl alcohol, which works just fine. And actually, I even made these alcohol inks with markers. So really, I'm just coloring it in with marker if you want to see it from that point of view. And then I think I will give the back of the castle a little bit more color because I want it to be darker than everything else. Okay, go and dry that off. And I think that's it for the pink. Maybe I'll try another layer of purple before I try putting some blue over the top of it. See if that gives me a darker purple before I just give up and go straight to the blue. I might still go to the blue anyway, but that is turning out more purple. And I do need a color for the flags and the drawbridge. So I may do that in blue. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll grab some blue. Let's see here. That's more of a teal. Ah, that's a blue. Aha, that's the purple I wanted. There we go. There we are. And then blue on the drawbridge and the flags. And there we have it. Tiny, colored, painted, hand-drawn fantasy castle. Now I just have to cut it out and put together a card to use it as a pop-out. Go ahead and subscribe if you liked this video and if you want to see more things like this. I'm doing things like this constantly. Leave a like if you want me to know if you liked it. If you don't want me to know if you liked it, don't tell me. Or better yet, leave an unlike. That'll totally trick me. I won't know at all. So leave a thumbs down if you didn't like it, because I won't know at all that you really secretly liked it if you do. And leave a comment to let me know what you think and how I could have done it differently. I am going to go ahead and just very carefully cut this out right around the edges. And then I will probably also film putting together the card for this. See you guys later. Bye.